right? So
This
that
is
is important.
this is very important stuff
Yeah.
here. Yes, because you're making a point that some people would say that this is the natural evolution of this kind of virus, is that it becomes less virulent over time. And this is what you would see with most viruses. And the explanation that's put out there is this is what's happening with Omicron. It's just becoming less virulent. But you're making an important point that we don't normally see this very, very high level of infectiousness, this is almost unbelievably high. It's almost, I think, as high as measles, which is incredible for a
It's higher.
virus.
It's higher than measles. But
It's higher than measles, and so you're right. Is that you normally get less virulence, but you don't normally get the virus being so infective in terms of what is going on. So, but what does that mean? Or before I even ask you what it means, how does this fit with regards to the work you've been doing over the past 4 weeks? And just for everybody to be aware, what Geert had said before is that he was been very quiet over the past month because he has been working extremely hard on a detailed paper, 30 pages long, looking at explaining everything that we are seeing, and more importantly, what we are going to see. So if you could just give us a list of some of the headings that you have in that document that you've got.
Well, it starts. In fact, Philip, with asking the critical questions and doing the analysis. For example, I give you one example. When you look currently at the pandemic, you see that we still have, especially in highly vaccinated countries, we have high infection rates. And as you know, and as we just discussed, because the virus or the cause of the disease is relatively mild, many cases, the vast majority of cases, of infectious cases, go unreported, right? Because people just, are feeling unwell for a couple of days. They don't even go to see their doctor or let alone to the hospital, etc. There is also much less, testing and tracing, etc. So there is an enormous underreporting. Nevertheless, despite this major underreporting, you still see, if you look at the curves, John Hopkins, etc., that there is high infectivity rates. What's also interesting to see is that the waves, the interval between the waves becomes shorter and shorter. We had a wave here in Belgium a couple of months ago, and we are already having the next one, etc. What you also see is that when the waves are declining, they are no longer joining the baseline, right? They are leveling off, and then they get on a plateau that is still way above the baseline, etc. So what this tells us is that all in all, the infectious pressure in the population, the infectious pressure caused by the virus, of course, is still relatively high. And that is exactly the opposite from what you would expect if vaccines would do their work and would lead us into herd immunity, because then you would see a diminishment of the infection rate and the transmission rate, because that is the definition of herd immunity. And then you see this high infection rate, as I was saying, combined with a lot of mildness of the disease. So first of all, it is just making the observations, hey guys, this is not what we normally see during a pandemic. And then it gets also prolonged. I mean, we are having how many waves already? I mean, this is much longer than a natural pandemic, for example.
Thank you for joining me, and thank you for listening. I really appreciate that you've stayed with us. I'd now like to encourage you to really consider clicking on the link below and joining me on Substack. We have over 2 years of incredible content on COVID-19, posts, podcasts, videos, all of the stuff that would help you to have a better understanding of COVID-19 and long COVID. In this, I'll intend to build out all the content that I come across, all the thoughts that I have, all the research that I want to share. You can join me on this research journey. Why not? Why not you to become the expert for COVID-19? Again, click on the link below. I'd love to have you join and share this journey with me.